Tony Khan talks about stepping down, airing the CM Punk footage and more. AEW scrapping a title, 3 of them no less, kind of. A major WWE overhaul and more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News!
Support WrestleTalk!
Even the best bookers only have 3 to 5 hot years. After that, people start to repeat themselves, run out of ideas, or lose touch with their audience. Like Gado's 5 incredible years booking New Japan from 2015 to 2020. A run ended in part due to a slight global pandemic, but also because his storylines and champions were no longer connecting with his audience. Vince McMahon went through a few 3 to 5 year periods, going through hot runs like the Rock and Wrestling Connection in the 80s and the 1997 to 2001 Attitude Era, with long, terrible periods in between. Like Ollie Davis, who's hosted the WrestleTalk News for 7 years. Who put that on the teleprompter? All Elite Wrestling's booking properly launched with May 2019's Double or Nothing. They began weekly TV 4 months later with the debut of Dynamite. The show's first few months, however, was a promotion trying to find what it actually is, with a reported group of bookers in the EVPs like Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks. This culminated in one of the company's worst ever angles, the Dark Order invasion on the 19th of December 2019. It was so badly received that Tony Khan reportedly took control of the creative reins, properly becoming AEW's head booker from the start of 2020. In my opinion, despite that massive obstacle of the pandemic, he then went on the longest, most consistent run of high-quality wrestling TV of all time, lasting 2.5 years from the start of 2020 all the way through until that awkward Hangman Page CM Punk world title feud and the purchase of Ring of Honor in 2022. One trick some promoters had back in the territory days would be to cycle themselves out to creatively refresh themselves and avoid burnout. 6 months on, then 6 months off, where Jerry Lawler will do some weird shit. But Khan, if anything, has taken on a workload only ever matched by the far more experienced and established WWE, and even they couldn't really do it most of the time. In that 2020 to 2022 glory run, Khan was booking the weekly 2-hour Dynamite and 4 4-hour pay-per-views per year, which is about 125 hours of wrestling content. I'm not counting Dark and Dark Elevation. In mid-2021, the promotion debuted the 1-hour Rampage, increasing that number to 180-ish hours per year. In 2022, AEW added Ring of Honor and Battle of the Belts. Coincidentally, the same year it started to experience backstage personnel problems. In 2023 came an extra 2-hour weekly show, Collision. In 2024, they've doubled their original pay-per-view schedule. AEW is now responsible for producing 380 hours of wrestling content a year. So probably with all that in mind and 2 weeks of heavily criticised TV that saw Khan rattled by WWE and CM Punk's shots at his company, someone has asked him if there was any situation where he would step down as head booker and let someone else take over. In the media call ahead of yet another new AEW pay-per-view, this Sunday's Dynasty, Khan admitted that nobody lasts forever in any position, but he's having more fun than ever right now. He described his mindset towards the creative process as taking things year to year and moment to moment. He said many wrestlers are loyal to him right now, and he's going to do his best to pay them back. In short, No, I'm not stepping down as AEW head booker. What ideas do you have for AEW's creative direction? Write Paul Heyman in the comments over and over again down below, where I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. Before we get into Khan's comments on controversially airing the CM Punk footage, start getting excited for our new WrestleTalk original going live tomorrow. The Rise of Cody Rhodes. But finally, at 19 years old, Cody plucked up the courage to tell his father what he really wanted to do with his life. Driving home from breakfast at the local Waffle House, he announced, "I don't want to do anything but wrestling." According to Cody, Dusty sat silently behind the wheel of the car, processing what he'd just heard. After a few minutes of contemplation, Dusty said, "If you're going to do it, then be the best." He promised when Cody eventually won a world championship, Dusty would give him his treasured gold Rolex watch. Please subscribe and enable notifications to always on so you know first when that goes live. Back to AEW, the thing is, this year, they've been putting on its most consistent best TV since those glory days. Bringing in Will Ospreay, the Swerve, Samoa Joe and Hangman hate triangle, Sting's retirement run. Yet it's all been undermined by Khan's decision to air the real backstage brawl footage that got CM Punk fired with cause. It was a decision so bad, it accomplished the rare feat of actually uniting all parts of wrestling tribalism that universally said, not a good idea. But despite that, Khan is still saying it was a good move because ratings. After the ratings came in, TBS called me and told me good job. You have to remember that I'm responsible for everybody's job in this company, and it is really important for us to please the network. And TBS was really happy with that show and that performance. That's the most important thing. And our fan feedback on the show that we got, the rating, is the #1 source of fan feedback in the end. The network, and they were incredibly pleased. It was over 400,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic, and that was a strong performance. And that is how TBS judges the show. And how TBS judges the show is the most important metric I have for the performance. I think Tony's a smart enough guy where we can assume he's just saving face here. Ratings are very important, of course, but there are plenty of examples in the past in WCW, TNA, WWE that a lot of people watching a bad show is a detriment in the long run, especially if you don't course correct fast. To peel back the curtain here, for instance, if we put out a video that gets loads of views but is badly received in the comments, that tells us we misjudged what the fans wanted, and we do everything we can to make up for it from that point on. You might get a high one-off quantity of views, but the quality of those views will damage you in the long run. And by Khan's own most important metric, airing the Punk footage wasn't really a long-term success, because it seems like none of those viewers it brought in have stuck around, with the following week's Dynamite falling back to 762,000 viewers with a 0.26 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is right back to their third lowest viewership and demo of the year. It is important to remember though, it's not all doom and gloom. Even with those figures, Dynamite was still the top cable show excluding NBA programming, and the year-on-year numbers are up from the overall decline of cable viewership. Yes, AEW had a bad 2 weeks, and yes, WWE is molten hot right now, but All Elite remains a very sustainable alternative, which is why Forbes have recently ranked AEW as the third most valuable combat sports promotion in 2024, just behind the UFC and WWE, valuing it at $2 billion. That'll only help AEW's TV rights negotiations, which will soon be coming out of the Warner Bros. Discovery exclusive period, meaning they can talk to other networks. Khan has said on the Dynasty Media call that AEW's archive library will likely be a part of any new deal, implying there will be a streaming platform element to it. It is, of course, AEW Dynasty this Sunday. Go watch mine and Luke's predictions for it over on the WrestleTalk podcast channel, and also sign up to WrestleLeague for the brand new season, link in the video description below, where you could win prizes up to $250, and we've got 2 more matches added to the Dynasty 0 Hour card. Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal, and Orange Cassidy and Shibata against Shane Taylor Promotions. Khan also announced Rob Van Dam for a special match on the Go Home episode of Collision, which will air on the 20th of April. The 20th of the 4th month. 420. Drugs. Most significantly of all, however, is news that Bullet Club Gold versus The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass will unify the Ring of Honor and AEW 6-man belts respectively. The reason this has all been announced so late is because of an injury to one of the wrestlers involved, though we don't know who. They're now cleared to compete on Sunday. But while AEW is ramping up its North American pay-per-view schedule, the new era of WWE is overhauling how it books its biggest shows. WWE President Nick Khan has revealed, "We sat down together a few years ago and decided, so the Big 5 premium live events should be in the United States or Canada. All of the other events, the goal is to have them from international locations." Khan lists the Big 5 as the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam and Survivor Series. This means that WWE will be aiming to host 7 premium live events a year in other countries. This has been underway since Vince McMahon was removed from power the first time, with 2023 seeing Backlash in Puerto Rico, Night of Champions and Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, and Money in the Bank in London. 2024 has already seen Elimination Chamber in Australia, and will have Backlash in France, Clash at the Castle in Scotland, Bash in Berlin in Germany, and King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Additionally, Fightful Select is reporting that people in WWE are discussing next year's WrestleMania to be moved to May to avoid the NCAA Final Four matches, which will fundamentally change the wrestling calendar and how stories are paced coming out of the Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania is going to be about 2 months longer. This can seemingly be traced back to a mindset shift in WWE. With the TV industry changing, Peacock and their future partner Netflix are most interested in the 24-hour number, which is the amount of viewers who watch in the whole first day of a show's release, not just the people who watch it live. This is why WWE is becoming so comfortable with holding international events, which have unconventional start times for the US. Viewers in the US can watch it whenever they want. This is why WWE didn't hold a major pay-per-view in the UK for decades, despite the record-setting success for SummerSlam 1992. Remember to subscribe for our Cody Rhodes documentary tomorrow. In the meantime, watch our one on the rise and rise of The Rock.